Thank Weber, both co-chairs of the Great Port Caucus.
That's why we're here, sitting up here.
My name is John Crowley, and I serve as president of the National Association of Waterfront Employers, a role I've held for 5 years. Thank you for the invitation to be here today. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss potential strategies to improve the regulation, economic opportunities, and competitiveness of our nation's maritime industry. We're here today because of our need for federal infrastructure investment accessible to port operators and greater coordination and transparency to ensure that regulatory requirements are implemented in a cost-effective manner. My first goal is to share with you the critical role that terminals play in our national economy and as a national asset. As terminal operators, our customers are the ocean carriers who move global commerce to and from the United States. We move the cargo from the water to the rest of the nation. U.S. port operators work off uniquely configured footprints with varied water and landward access, developing proprietary processes to optimize local productivity. Accordingly, port operators must be adaptive and forward-thinking, looking to leverage advanced infrastructure to ensure the operator's skilled workforce can meet the nation's multiple and dynamic needs. They require improved infrastructure to support the growing demands for economic opportunity throughout the country. I know this committee understands the strategic importance of moving freight and that ports require significant infrastructure investment. And I thank Congress for its leadership in providing focus on the importance of ports and the nearly $300 million for their use through the Port Infrastructure Development Program. However, more work needs to be done. While the funding and support that Congress has established sets a strong foundation, we firmly believe that port infrastructure needs will not be met with just single-year funding, no matter how robust. We urge Congress to support self-sustaining permanent funding specifically aimed at port operators, as well as the traditional port infrastructure development in a manner similar to the harbor maintenance tax and your efforts in that regard. We further seek to ensure that private port operators have access to available federal funding and potential loan guarantees, both through public-private partnerships and by ensuring direct port operator access and eligibility. Federal investment can have the largest impact when directly supporting port operators because port operators have the largest direct impact on improving intermodal productivity. This federal investment in port operators will result in the improved competitiveness of port operators. Each of these investments is an investment in a national asset which will remain with the port facility in support of future operations and operators. Operators in any business sector face regulatory oversight, and port operators are not different. Congress's efforts to ensure robust port security, a coordinated and environmentally sensitive port infrastructure, and a competitive port environment are important and necessary to maintaining this competitive business operation. While Congress's leadership establishes the standards, regulatory agencies implement the policy. NAWE members work closely with federal agencies in pursuit of the nation's policy objectives. And when executive agencies take expansive views of their authority to issue interpretive rules or policy statements, the use of the Administrative Procedure Act is sorely needed in their regulatory development. Therefore, we recommend the creation of a coordinating committee dedicated to aligning agency actions with stakeholder input and provide unified recommendations to Congress. I believe that through the development of dedicated port infrastructure funding opportunities accessible to port operators, coordinated agency oversight, and reasonable and transparent regulations, Congress and the executive branch can ensure that U.S. ports and port operators are prepared to meet tomorrow's needs of the U.S. economy. I appreciate this subcommittee's continued support for U.S. port operators. I look forward to working with you to develop the strategies to improve the regulation of port operators in future and new economic opportunities for our U.S. maritime transportation system. I'm happy to respond to any questions you have.